Hi guys, it's me, Phoebe. I literally just finished a book and I thought it was really good, and it's the first book I read by this author and I thought it was fantastic, had a great storyline, and I really loved the end and all the little things in between, and that was weird. The book as a whole was fantastic and I loved all the funny scenes and the meaningful scenes, and they were just, when you put them all together, they were just beautiful together. They worked really well together and it was just a beautiful storyline overall. And the book is Looking for Alaska by John Green, and I love this book. I thought it was fantastic. I literally just finished it like 5 minutes ago, so I'm like, oh, I better film and do a book review on it. So I really liked it. It is a story about Miles Halter. He goes to college, and he's from Florida and he moves to Alabama for college, and he's sort of a bit standoffish and he's a bit quiet and you know, he's a bit nervous about going to college, and he meets the guy called the Colonel, which is how I pronounce it. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced, but that's how I pronounce it. Yeah, so he meets him and he develops sort of a relationship with him because he's in the same room as him in college, so they share rooms, they're like dorm room buddies. The Colonel introduces Miles Halter to someone called Alaska Young, and Alaska Young is quite a rebellious sort of girl. She likes to drink, she likes to do all that stuff, but she's really intellectual. She's a really intellectual character and she's actually really intelligent, which is what I liked about her. She's not the stereotypical, you know, rebellious party girl. She's actually really intellectual and she likes her studies and stuff. And so the story is about Miles and Alaska, and like all the people in between, but the story is mainly about Miles and Alaska getting to know each other and their relationship building, and what happens and what alters that relationship in the story. And I thought it was fantastic. I really liked it. I have dog-eared, or whatever you call it, I dog-eared some pages in the book because there is some beautiful quotes in this book. As I said, John Green, this is the first John Green novel that I've read by him, and let me just say, his way with words is just amazing. He's such a way with words, and how he structures sentences to make them sound so beautiful and so mesmerizing. It's just amazing. So let me read you some. Page I dog-eared was page 109, and I've got like this copy with a flower in it, and it is the scene where Miles and Alaska are in this sort of like, it's on campus, but it's like sort of a living area, TV room sort of thing, and Alaska's going to sleep, and this is what Miles is like, this is Miles' mind, but this is how John Green writes, and I think it was so beautiful. Just like that, from 100 miles an hour to sleep in a nanosecond. I wanted so badly to lie down next to her on the couch, to wrap my arms around her and sleep. Not F. Like in those movies, not even have sex, but just sleep together in the most innocent sense of the phrase. But I liked the courage, and she had a boyfriend, and I was gawky and she was gorgeous, and I was hopelessly boring and she was endlessly fascinating. So I walked back to my room and collapsed on the bottom bunk, thinking that if people were rain, I was drizzle and she was a hurricane. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. I loved that quote. I thought it was perfect in the scene, it was perfect in the right timing as well, and just the perfect mindset that Miles Halter was in, and I just love that quote. And when I actually was on Tumblr like ages ago, and I actually saw that. I saw someone take a picture of a book and there was that quote, and I've seen people on Facebook put that up as their status. I just love that quote, and I was wondering where it was from, and then it completely spontaneously, I looked at that page and I was reading past it and I'm like, whoa, wait a second. I've seen that thing before. And I remember on Tumblr and on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, it's by John Green. And I never realised it was by John Green because I never really looked it up. But I thought it was absolutely fantastic. On page 123, and I really like this thing. I think the Colonel and Miles are discussing like religious and sort of afterlife sort of thing, and I really like this sort of quote thing. They couldn't bear the idea of death being a big black nothing. couldn't bear the thought of their loved ones not existing and couldn't even imagine themselves not existing. I finally decided that people believed in an afterlife because they couldn't bear not to. I think that is so true, and that just caught me. That little like sentence there just caught me, and I'm like, that's so true, because it really is, because it sort of is about the afterlife, and I'm really interested in that sort of stuff, so I really like that one. Page 254. This is the scene where the Colonel and Miles are in the car and they've just gone past the little scene, because I don't want to spoil anyone, the little scene, and they were driving really fast, and they had like this little sensation of what Alaska felt. And this is the quote that I liked. We met and I held him, my hands balled into tight fists around his shoulders, and he wrapped his short arms around me and squeezed tight so that I felt the heaves of his chest as we realised over and over again that we were still alive. I realised it in waves, and we held on to each other crying, and I thought, God, we must look so lame. But it doesn't much matter when you have just now realised all the time later that you were still alive. I thought that was really good, and it really ties in what happened at the end, and I really liked that as a whole, and I really liked that the whole book was separated into before and after, and when you get into the middle of before and after, and you get to the middle part, and then you really realise what the book is about, because when you come to the middle of the book and it's after before and then it starts after, it's the end of the before and it starts after, and then you realise why the book is like that. I thought it was beautiful, and I really liked that. And I liked how, Miles and the Colonel's like sort of old married couple relationship, because the Colonel and Miles relationship like sort of like develops through the story, and you can see how they really like take care of each other and are really protective over each other. And Alaska says they're like an old married couple, and they fight like an old married couple, and I really like that. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And the scene near the end of the book where there's like a stripper that comes into the school, and he's like disguised as a professor of psychology, and he like starts stripping in front of the school. And it's just so funny. I actually really laughed like out loud at the book, and it was just so funny, and I really liked that part, because I thought it was such a funny little prank that they did. Thanks for watching, and I hope you really liked this video. Please go read Looking for Alaska by John Green. It is actually so good, and I really hope I motivated you to read it. And go follow me on Goodreads, it'll be in the description. And yeah, see ya!